Oh, you know what? We're live.
Going to space.
Going to space. We'll talk about that in a minute. People are like, "What the heck are these knuckleheads talking about?" But
Going to space.
I got a book called The Rapist Constitution. It was written by my professor. I don't know if his name was Dr. Francis Boyle or if it's just Francis Boyle, and maybe he's not a doctor, but he works there in the ag department at State. And I always wanted to copy his book, and he always said, "Yeah, I'll print self-published." He goes, "Come by and I'll print you one." And we never connected. And so just had a wild hair,
Professor like that,
wild hair. I got on Amazon. I looked it up.
Yeah.
And there was like Amazon has like resellers that sell from there.
Yeah.
So I found a copy of his
Used books.
book, and I just got it like a week ago, and it was like an autograph copy. And I was like, dude, like that's
so weird because you could actually, you've met him personally.
Yeah.
So like.
so. And
Yeah,
I, like my plan is to read his book,
Yeah.
and then once I read it, to be like, try to reach out to him, be like, like I got like 5, maybe I'm up to 6 viewers now. Would you come on?
Hey,
and
come and talk about it. Is it as big as that book?
yeah, it's about as big as this book.
What happened on the 23rd?
So that's right. No. Let's look at Tuesday.
Right.
So what's Tuesday's date? We're gonna
Martes.
this is gonna come out like we're gonna record this a day in advance. So the 25th.
Let's
The
go to
25th. You know, have you always worn glasses your whole life?
I use them for like reading.
But your whole life?
Yeah.
I've never worn glasses.
Yeah.
And so
And then blue light. Have you heard of that?
yeah, so I got the blue tint on them.
Exactly. Yeah.
But so I have a weird relationship with glasses.
Yeah.
As a kid, I always wanted glasses because I thought people that wore glasses were like just so smart.
Yeah.
And so
If you have an interview, wear glasses.
yeah, right. That would.
They told me.
Are you serious? They tell you that?
He's like, hey, if you have an interview, wear glasses. I was like, all right.
Oh, I wonder
It
if
worked one time.
like color or anything like that. I know something. I mean, it worked out, right? You
Yeah,
had to-
it worked out. Yeah.
So
One time.
my whole life never wore glasses, and then I spent my life like in front of a computer like for the last 25 years,
Yeah.
and now that I have glasses, like I need to wear glasses. It's like a drag now. It's like dang it, I can't read. Where's my glasses at?
When you were young, you wanted to look cool, and now that you're
Talk
older-
about like a self-fulfilling prophecy though. Like my whole life, like man, I want glasses, and then now that I have glasses, like.
drag. You know, you
What the
lose
hell is-
them sometimes. You have to
Dude.
find them. Something more to carry.
And there's something sexy about chicks that wear glasses.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Oh, dude, you see some of these like librarian nerdy
secretaries.
chicks and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's like,
Yeah,
girl,
I like it.
girl.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
everybody loves a
girl.
nerd / gamer /
Oh yeah. Girls with glasses are definitely a search.
Okay,
Search.
February 25th. Oh, wow, 1336. That's like 700 years ago, almost exactly. That's like 690.
700 years ago.
You round it up to 7. That's nuts. Okay, the fort. So in 1336, the defenders of Pelliné chose death over surrender. The fort was the site of the last stand of the pagan General Duchy of Lithuania against a crusade by the Teutonic Knights, who were attempting to convert him and his people to Catholicism.
Wow.
When it became clear the fort would fall, all 4,000 people within committed mass suicide rather than be taken prisoner.
And turn into Catholics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like when you read history,
Yeah.
it seems like there's so much about religion.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so crazy. Like, and crazy too. Like kill everybody that's not our religion. 10,000 people, they're all gone. Like, how nuts is that? So there it is. And 700 years ago, and that was in Lithuania. Okay, in 1848, the Paris Commune guarantees workers' rights. All right, the short-lived
right,
revolutionary
buddies.
socialist government was the first in the modern history to formally recognize the rights of laborers. All right, 1848. Yeah, because Teddy Roosevelt was big on labor, but that was like
Yeah.
around the turn of the century, Let's see here. 1866, the Calaveras skull is discovered.
Is that like in the U.S.?
Yeah, the miners
Francisco?
working in California found the skull in mine 130 feet below the surface and passed it on to John Whitney, a professor of geology at Harvard University. Whitney declared the skull was proof that human mastodons and elephants had coexisted in California. The skull was later shown to be a hoax. Calavera skull. I have to look that up.
It's the boom, man.
1901, U.S. Steel is incorporated.
What?
U.S. Steel, Carnegie Steel, like, you know, the big fathers of industry of the time. Carnegie. 1928, the first television broadcast license is issued. The Federal Commission of Communication granted a broadcast license for television to Charles Jenkins Laboratories. 1928.
Interesting. 1928.
Let's see here. Okay. 1956, Khrushchev, secret speech. So Khrushchev, he was the dictator of Russia when Stalin died.
Oh shit!
And he was the one that was in office, or he was a dictator of Russia during like the Cuban Missile Crisis.
That's a big boots.
That's a big man, right?
Yeah, that's a big boots to fill
so
right there.
In a speech to the 20th Congress of the Communist Party in the USSR, Nikita Khrushchev denounced a cult of personality that Stalin had created, as well as purges he had carried out. So he's like Khrushchev survived the purges of Stalin. How I don't know. So like just a little history. Like Khrushchev was a general in World War II. So like when the Germans were like fighting for Stalingrad and Soviet soldiers were just being thrown into the meat grinder, kind of like Ukraine now, but in Stalingrad, they weren't having any luck, so they put Khrushchev in charge. So Khrushchev, man, that saw some serious fighting.
Yeah, man, World War II.
World War II, right? But then again, then again, you've ever heard about Kennedy in World War II?
Say about, I think I heard. Yeah.
He was a captain. No. JFK.
Oh, okay.
He was a captain of a PT boat.
Okay.
So a little PT boat that had torpedoes, and so they were ordered to attack a Japanese ship, and it was like 3 or 4 PT boats or something like that because they had torpedoes on them, and they all went down. So he saved the guys on his ship, and he took them to an island, and they stayed there until they were rescued.
Real men, right?
Yeah, real men. I mean,
real men stuff.
Back when, like, the presidents, like, look at Eisenhower, D-Day leader, he was president and all that.
Real men.
Okay, here we go. Modern history, 1964, Muhammad Ali shocks the world. The heavyweight boxer, still called Cassius Clay at the time, won a bout against Sonny Liston with a technical knockout in the 7th round.
Very nice.
Wow.
Paso gloves.
Oh, look at that!
My brother fought, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool shirt. I'm gonna buy it."
Golden gloves. That's legit, man. Let's see. 1986, Ferdinand Marcos flees the Philippines. Okay. 1991, the Warsaw Pact is dissolved. Okay. The Warsaw Pact. You know what that is?
I've heard about it, but
you know how NATO, all the Western nations, we have an alliance. Well, the
United Nations.
Well, no, NATO is not the United Nations. It's just a military alliance of the Western nations.
Okay.
And in Australia, it's like a military alliance.
Yeah.
It's called the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And all the major ones, like England,
US, right?
US, France, Germany, and then now
Israel.
No, Israel. I don't think Israel's a part. Are they? I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But then on top, oh shoot!
I thought it was the United Nations.
Okay, I thought I stopped recording for a second. I was like, no, the menu came down. No. So you have the United Nations, which is for like all the nations of the world, hopefully to prevent war.
Right.
But then you have an alliance called NATO. Well, then the Soviet Union wanted to counterbalance NATO because they were like NATO's. So
they've always been the counterpart.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they did is they made an alliance with all the communist countries that they influenced. Like you had
China.
No. This was like in Europe, like Romania, Yugoslavia. I don't know if Czechoslovakia, a lot of those Eastern nations through there.
Eastern European nations.
Eastern Germany, and they were all part of the Warsaw Pact to kind of like counter NATO, and they were always faced off and all that, and so they were dissolved, and like with the fall of the Soviet Union and all that. Crazy.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy what's going on. Do we know who killed JFK yet?
So, dude, that's what I want to know. Okay. What did you hear about JFK? Because I've been talking about this already.
Yeah. Because like they busted out the files, and there's 3 guys that killed JFK now. So like,
really, you heard 3 guys?
Yeah, well, that's what they're saying. I don't know what to believe anymore.
So, if you listen to like if you listen to like the Unsolved Mysteries and all that, let's just like jump into it, right? If you listen to Unsolved Mysteries and you listen to everything, everybody swears there was another shooter. But then the federal investigation and all that stuff and the Warren Commission said no, there was only one shooter. The magic bullet. They found the bullet in perfect condition on his gurney.
Yeah.
The way everything was handled. People even thought the body was switched out on the airplane.
That's true.
Yeah. So and then
a bunch of crazy shit, man.
Do you know the Zapruder film is?
No, tell me about it.
So and I'm going to butcher this. So if anybody knows history better than me, then I'm sorry. But so there was a guy, last name Zapruder, and he had like one of those old like 40 millimeter cameras, a little. And he was watching the president go by and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh shit!
And so it was
stories there.
Yeah, so it was like a film nobody knew existed. And so Kennedy gets shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
wow.
And they interviewed people. People turned up, died. They interviewed hobos. Like everybody, and like a lot of people turned up.
Have you been to that location?
No, I never have.
I've gone there.
I've been to Dallas. I've never been to that. Yeah. Dallas, Fort Worth, clean. I've been all through there, but I haven't been to like that place, and I feel like I need to.
Yeah.
So
especially now,
everybody has like this theory about Oswald. He was being like weird. They're like, there's no way he could have done it. There's no way. Like some people said he came running out. Some people said he didn't come running out. Like there's just a lot of weird stuff about that. And then the Warren Commission, which was headed by, and I've got to pull this name up because this is significant. So, and again, there's a lot of people smarter than me.
We're learning here,
Well, there's a lot of people smarter than me that if they listen to this
and going to space.
That's right. Well, I mean, hey, that all started with Kennedy, right? Who headed the Warren Commission?
Right.
I try to keep a laptop here, but I sometimes just think it's easier just to do it like do it on your cell phone. Yeah. Okay. Known officially as the President's Commission on the Assassination of President Kennedy, the Warren Commission was led by Chief Justice Earl Warren and included 6 additional members from both Republican and Democratic parties. But there's one primary person. There's one primary person on here, Allen Dulles. Allen Dulles was on the commission.
Okay.
There's an airport named after him. Dulles I don't know if it's Dulles Air Force Base or just Dulles Airport or something like that. It's like it's a big.
He's a big name.
He was a big name, and I think he was. I don't. Geez, I sometimes I come in ready.
Man, I want to learn too.
Sometimes I come in ready. Sometimes I don't. So Allen Dulles, he was the head of either the FBI or the CIA. What was he famous for? Okay, he was the longest-serving director of the CIA. Okay, so Kennedy.
Yeah. Who's
one of the groups of people that was alleged to have killed Kennedy?
The vice president.
No, well, no, I know, right? No. Who's one of the groups? I mean, the mob.
Yeah.
The Cubans.
The mob.
Who else? The CIA.
The CIA. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Yeah. CIA.
So Allen Dulles was the longest-serving director of the CIA.
Yeah.
Kennedy fired him.
Oh shit! Damn, I wish I missed.
I know. I mean, like yeah, we needed like a sound effect. So if Allen Dulles fired him, it's weird that they put him on the commission to investigate his assassination.
Yeah.
Now, you can definitely look at it from the perspective of like Allen Dulles was a well-connected guy, probably knows a lot of investigators, and do you know what I mean? Like he's also probably the perfect person.
The CIA in some way, right? Or helped build it.
Probably, like that's probably during the heyday of the CIA. If he's the longest service one, he was there when all the crazy stuff went on, right? Like the war ends and the Cold War starts, and like you know what I mean, like all the assassinations, coups, and everything. Like he probably knows about all that. So there's always that weird connection with that. Okay, so modern day, Trump comes in and
modern Back to the Future.
Matter of fact, I was sticking all these tiles up, and I had YouTube on, and I was watching Trump sign the executive orders live on his first day, and he signed the one about Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, and JFK. Yeah. And about a week or two later, or maybe not even a week, maybe like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something. The lady that's I don't know what her name is. I've been listening to her. She's a part of the commission that's releasing all this paperwork and all that stuff on the Trump team. And she says
she also has the Epstein files.
And they're going to release Epstein. But okay, let's stick with JFK.
You don't think they're going to like scratch off some names before they do that?
So that's the thing, right? So the first thing that happens was Trump says he's going to release JFK files, and then the FBI says, "Oh, by the way, we found another 2,500 pages related to the JFK assassination." Just out of the blue.
Hey, look what I found here.
And so she came out and on a press conference, and she says, "It appears that there's evidence for 2 shooters." So that's like the biggest thing. And like, and if you're like a JFK nut, which I think people from my generation, like a lot of older people really were really into it.
He was a good president.
Yeah, he was willing to take chances, right?
Yeah. It was good.
You know, he was about the people. He was definitely a man of the people, civil rights, Cuba, facing down Khrushchev and the Russians, like.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot.
Stopped the nuclear.
So and there's a lot of reasons for like his assassination, right?
Yeah.
So one of the reasons is there was a story of like him and Khrushchev. They wanted to end the Cold War. Like, why are we going to do this? And they're like, did the CIA kill him because he didn't want to back the Bay of Pigs, overthrow Castro in Cuba, and he wanted to end the Cold War because why should we be at the brink of war, especially after this crazy massive war, World War II, where like hundreds of millions of people died. Like, it's no joke. Like 90 million of them were in Russia alone, right? Yeah. So why are we facing missiles at each other? And he was also a big proponent of the space race. So that's like the biggest thing. Yeah. Yeah. And then you just said, what did you just say a second ago?
Epstein files. Or something else.
So they're supposed to be releasing the Epstein files or the Epstein book. Okay. Like the book. I guess he had like a guest book. not like a little black book like Booty Call. It's and again, I'm not well versed on this.
No, me neither, man.
But
just hear stuff.
So people that flew to Epstein's Island, they took private planes there in and out, and there was like a some sort of guest book or a ledger of all the guests that went to his island.
Sign here, please.
Sign here. It's like, oh, hey, I mean, if I had people like dignitaries coming to my house every week, I'm like, hey, dude, can you like sign off on this that you were here? Sweet. P. Diddy was here. Sweet. Sign off. Like.
Go to your room. Oh,
yeah, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that, right? So when everything happened with Epstein, and like, do you remember when that happened? It like went fast. Yeah. It's like suddenly this came out. Suddenly they were like saying like all this is going on. Then they arrested him, and then suddenly he turned up dead. And then suddenly like all of his paperwork and his books and everything was all sealed up.
It's powerful people moving. They move fast.
Oh yeah. Well, one of them, and what brought about this is the prince. I don't believe it was the English prince. I think it was like the Danish prince. Yeah. One of them, one of these characters that's like really well known. He's a prince, from the royal family of one of those countries. Whatever that shenanigans is about. There's a picture of him with a girl that said she had been taken there and she had been raped and she had been groomed for sex and all that. And there's a picture of him with his arm around her when she was like 14 or 15, and she's there.
What a prince.
So the evidence is there. That like there was a picture, and so you couldn't get around it. But then that's when everything else came out. That what's her name? Grishel.
It's in my tongue.
I want to say something like.
I know exactly. It's that French lady. His secretary.
Yeah, something like that. Let me think here. Epstein.
She's still in jail, man. So like whatever happens right now, like she's still in jail.
But with the way that the tides are changed, Ghislaine Maxwell sentenced 20 years in prison for conspiring with Epstein. Jail, oh wow, okay. Ghislaine Noel Marion Maxwell is a former is a British former socialite and convicted sex offender. She was found guilty of child sex trafficking and other offenses. So
that's her.
She had to sell her silence. She probably sold her silence. Like, you know what? He turned up dead in that one moment, in that one corner. There's no cameras where guards were changing shifts.
Yeah, man.
And they got to him there. Yeah, that's like
something's up.
Like, okay, so President Trump is in office. He's got 4 years. He's already trying to go into it like crazy with the federal government, trying to figure out where the money's going and all this stuff, releasing secret files. Let's see if he has enough time and enough people to open that can of worms. Because, if they investigate that and somebody let that happen, like if I was the warden of that jail,
yeah,
somebody's got to get fired, somebody's got to go to jail.
Somebody's got to go to jail for sure. Yeah, I mean, but like a lot of money being thrown around.
A lot of money being thrown around. You know what I mean? Like a lot of money. Like that was a big question. Like, how did this guy get his money? Because he didn't have like any big businesses.
Right.
He wasn't like
he was like money moves. He was like the middle person.
He was involved with like some investors and all that stuff, but he wasn't like an investor himself. But the question, like, where did this guy get all his money from? Right.
Well, one big thing is, Prince, the Prince guy that's associated with him from England.
Yeah.
So that guy, he's like in his heyday, he's a prince and he gets all the girls, right? He gets all the girls there, but like he's under his brother, which is King Charles, and then he's under his. So he's never gonna be a king.
Is it Prince Edward?
Yeah. Well, he's under his brother, so like he's never gonna be a king. And then on top of that, the king son is next in line.
You're right. It's Prince Edward.
Yeah. Oops. So, but this guy's like good looking when he's young, and he's a prince, so he gets all the girls, all the stuff, and like he gets like a $2 million salary or something like that, and that's not enough for him to like for his lifestyle, because he's a party guy. He's always been a party guy. Enter Jeffrey Epstein, because like. He doesn't get enough money from his family, and he has a lifestyle to maintain. He only gets $2 million a year or something like that. He's like, that's not enough to buy all this cocaine for the girls. So enter Jeffrey.
Well, okay. So if you're a playboy, you're in your younger years, you're fairly good looking, but you're the nobility of a country, so you're expected to carry yourself a certain way. But you knew that your title, and then you have the money that you can leverage that to get ladies, because that's what it's about, right? Like some guys, it's just not enough to be wealthy and to be like this person, like, right, this me, like it's not enough to be that. They're like, okay, I'm gonna have all the women I can get to, right? So you meet a guy that could hook you up with any woman you want, and then that guy turns out to be somebody like Jeffrey Epstein. They become friends, probably start moving money to investing money or whatever. Everything's
business deals, he's a royalty, so those connections are needed for the England connection.
Let's see, Andrew. Okay, so right here it says, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, was interviewed by Emily Matlis about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, the American financier and convicted sex offender. Andrew's response in the interview received negative reaction from both media and public. In May 2020, it was announced that he would indefinitely withdraw from his public roles. So all this tarnished his image. He's withdrawing from public anything in England. Yeah. Wow.
It's so crazy.
So, like, but then, like I say, like, there's this black book / guest book. Yeah. And the question is, like, who all went there? How often did they go there?
And what happened there?
There's
some pictures out there.
Maybe there's like, was it like a kind of like a P Diddy thing? Maybe he had like cameras in all the rooms. Maybe there's like video evidence. Maybe there's video evidence that's been hidden away, but
destroyed.
Oh yeah, like if you were a big investigator like the CIA, FBI, and you knew the people there, that'd probably be the first thing you did. Oh, sorry, I left it in the sun and it's all gone. My bad.
Yeah, sorry. It's like these videos,
But you know what's funny about all that? Do you know who Alex Jones is?
Oh yeah, man, that guy's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So so
that
Alex,
like a hidden genius or something.
So Alex Jones, he's like he's like the kind of guy. Well, I can hear the guests all laughing away, like it's. I know, right? So Alex Jones, he was big during the bomb era. He always was kind of big, but he was like
he's been
big, right? InfoWars, and Alex Jones always came out with these weird connections that people would be like, that's just crazy. Alex Jones is just being like a conspiracy nut.
Yeah. But now he's smart.
a lot of the things that he had talked about happened.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what his hit percentage was, like, like, was he like 50% right, 75% right, 40%?
75.
Let's say 75.
Yeah.
Let's say 50. Let's just say 50.
Yeah.
That's still 50% right. That's still better odds than a lot of other things.
Yes, sir.
That's better odds than the lottery. That's better odds than.
This guy has good odds. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
His research style is
I think, and I think the way he presented his information, he's always over the top. He's like, "Oh my God, they're gonna come for your guns, and they want you."
That's why they brush him off, because he goes that way.
But but I think he does that intentionally. I think it's part of like the dramatics, the theatrics, right?
Yeah, okay.
I think because
he's popular, so yeah.
I like to hear when he talks to Joe Rogan, because sometimes he's like really chill.
Joe
Rogan and me are best friends. No, he's a cool guy, but he, during the Obama administration, because that's kind of when I started listening to like all the stuff, Fringy, and that you have to think about that's like 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I kind of went through a phase where I listened to all that, and I remember him talking about like these Sexgate scandals.
Oh yeah.
There's two of them. There are two of them. One of them was Pizzagate.
Yeah, Pizzagate.
And there was another one, and I don't remember what it was. It was like a sex island.
Pizzagate was one of the big ones.
And that's kind of like related to Hillary or the Clintons. And so he always said that there was a sex island, all these people would go and they have sex. And again, it was kind of dismissed. But here we are 20 years later, and it turned out to be true.
Yeah.
So like...
Pizzagate is P. Diddy in a way, right? Kind of.
It's probably like next level P. Diddy. So like P. Diddy was like Hollywoodish. Mm-hmm. You had all your boys, and you have all your parties, and you have like your crew and your entourage, and the girls there in L.A. getting crazy and all that. Yeah. So that's like one level. But then
you want that, you got to do this.
It's like if you put it in level of money, you have like us middle class people.
Yeah.
Then you have other people that are like that are richer.
Right.
Then you have people that are like mega richer. Yeah. And the mega richer is probably like your Hollywood, your like your musicians, rap, all that, like Taylor Swift and all them, and
they make money.
They're people, the producers and all that. Yeah. And then you have probably a whole nother level of rich, which is like
the companies that are these artists are under. Right?
Well, something like that, right? But I'm thinking of like a really high level, like Prince Andrew, the family owns England.
Yeah.
So like there's like a whole different level of rich that we probably couldn't even fathom.
Oh yeah.
And so P. Diddy's doing his thing in L.A., and then you have the ultra rich that kind of get a little crazy, and now they're with Epstein.
Yeah.
So it seems like everybody has their different levels.
Their different levels of clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, to control.
Or to have a good
pleasure.
Time. It's like I think there's always people that want to. Everybody wants to be the big man on the block. Right. Everybody wants to be the big man on the block. And if you're like a nobody like me, you want to be the big man, and your neighbor comes over to you. Hey, do you have a pair of pliers I can borrow? Yes, I do. Oh, you need something fixed? I'm gonna go fix it for you. I'm the big man on my block.
Yeah.
And then you have somebody that's a big man, maybe more on a regional level.
Okay. Community level.
Yeah, and then you have the next big person, like the big person in music, which was totally P. Diddy.
Yeah.
P. Diddy was the big person in music. Like the Bieber, helped the Bieber, and probably did a lot of other stuff there too. But he like J-Lo, and he was the big man in music.
Right.
And then
everybody went through him in a way.
Yeah, and so you have like all these different big people in their sects. You have like Bill Gates. He's the big man in technology.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I think you have some people that they get to that level of being the big man, and they kind of want the benefits that come with it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I make tons of money. I got street cred. I want the women too. And they start going to like crazy. I don't know. It could be wrong, but
the people that don't want the power, those are the ones that are fit to handle the power. Because these people that want the power.
Yeah.
Want the power.
Yeah, it's like they think of like Genghis Khan, and Genghis Khan was his like thousands of concubines and all of his wives, and they're like, if a guy 500 years ago could do that, why can't I? You know what I mean? I don't know. I could totally be wrong and off base about that, but It's kind of weird to think about, though.
Yeah. What people strive to, you know, what people do.
What motivates you?
What people do, yeah. What people do when they have the power, you know, that's when...
Maybe that's what it is. What people do when they have the power.
Yep.
So if money corrupts and you have all the money in the world...
Well, they say money just brings out your character, you know. So like when you didn't have any money, you were still a piece of shit, but now you're with money and you're a bigger piece of shit.
That's a really straightforward way of putting it. It sounds pretty on point.
Yeah, I mean it amplifies your personality pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
because like money is not the answer, you know. So like money is not the goal. That's what somebody told me that lately, and I was like, that's pretty powerful. Money is not the goal.
And so what did your friend say when he said money's not the goal? What did he say was?
No, he's just, that's it. Money is not the goal. Whatever the goal is your purpose, you know?
Yeah.
That's the goal, your purpose.
That is super curious.
Yeah. So money is not the goal. So everybody has a different purpose in life. Like me and you don't have the same purpose. So
right.
The goal is the purpose.
I think you have a bigger purpose than I do. We just haven't figured it out yet.
No, there's purposes for everybody, man.
Yeah. But you know what's funny is there's different purposes for everybody. And I think you have different purposes at different times in your life too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. The purpose changes, man. Like, and sometimes you're not ready to do for right. You have to go through some turmoil,
trials and tribulations.
Yeah, before you're prepared to do your purpose. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%. Okay, so so all this is going on, stuff coming out from the Trump campaign.
Oh yeah.
I hope it doesn't stop. I hope
we get some answers.
I hope they get answers. I hope they go down the right path and things work out the way people want it to.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's overdue. So I've got my fingers crossed, and I'm always hopeful for the best.
I mean, yeah. There's always going to be bad and good people.
Yeah.
So let's just go with the flow, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
And do good.
Do good. That's it. Bottom line, do good.
Do good. Yeah. So
there's that. Okay. So then moving right along then. Okay. So people. So I don't even know how to say this, right? So you and me, we talk about all the things that would be considered fringy.
Yeah.
And let's talk. Let's be honest. I like fringy stuff because it's fun.
Yeah.
I love talking about the crazy. You know what? Talking politics is cool. Talking business is fun and all that. But when you talk about fringy stuff, it's like,
things get interesting.
It gets interesting. So one thing I did, and you know about this, and I think a small group of people know about this. I put cameras on my roof, not because I'm a peeping Tom or I'm a perv.
Because we want to talk to the aliens.
That's right, yeah. So I put some new 4K cameras on my roof, angled up, and I've got a pretty good field of cover, about 190 or 180 degrees right about now of sky coverage, and I mounted a tripod on the pitch of the roof, so I had to climb up the roof, get on the pitch, strap it down, try to stabilize it, and then raise the tripod, so that way I had a clear line of sight above all the roofs, and so that way we could try the sky. And I never. Okay, how do I say this? I don't really claim to say I see UFOs. Although my buddy Mark Monger that was on here the other day, he was like, "Well, if you don't know what it is, it's a UFO. It's unidentified."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, fair enough."
It's definitional.
Right. Yeah. I'm not saying I saw an alien spacecraft with beings in it, but I've been fortunate enough that I've seen stuff in the sky that it's beyond my intelligence level.
Yeah.
My expertise. It really is. And I'm not going to claim it's anything more than that because I don't know. But I've seen some interesting crap.
Yeah, I've seen some lights too, I've seen some, what the hell was that?
So over the course of the last 20 years, especially, there was a point in my life where I was working for a company. I used to drive all over the state. All over the whole state. And state of New Mexico, and people don't realize state of New Mexico is a big one, state.
Yep.
Very remote. When you're out there, you are out there.
Alone.
Yeah. And you see tons of lights in the sky, and some of them could be explainable, helicopters, whatever, you know, airplanes, and some of them are like
shooting stars,
questionable. You know what I mean? Like there's like legit questionable things I've seen out there. But again, I'm not gonna say that like I saw like an extraterrestrial craft or something, because I don't know what it is. But I've seen stuff that would make you like scratch your head and be like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man, me too.
So I got this crazy idea last year, and I had some extra security cameras, and I was excited about these security cameras. The first time I bought security cameras, my first ones were the ones that you plugged in, you connected to the Wi-Fi, and I was like, you have to mount them. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I got like my security. And then...
well, it's the Scarface, man. It's the Scarface meme.
Yeah, that right? Yeah.
You need people like
You
me.
need people. So I was excited about that. And then I got these wireless rechargeable cameras, and they were, let's see, they weren't maybe they were like the 1085 pixels.
Yeah,
they're the 1085 video resolution, and I know the original.
Game changers.
So what's below the 1085? That's the 2K.
Man, I wish I knew, but I know 2K is like around there.
I can tell you in a second. So you have different resolutions, and again, there's people that know this better than me, because I'm not as big as a nerd as I would like to say I am. And okay, let me see here. Let me see if I pull up the camera, it'll give me the option for the different resolution settings. So okay, so 2K. So my original small cameras were 2K.
Yeah.
Then my first wireless my first wireless ones were the 1080p. Or maybe the 720, 1080 or 720, or maybe it's a mix of them. But I thought I was cool with them. I was like, dude, like when people say like, oh, I'm gonna get cameras, I'm gonna get a doorbell camera. I was like, dude, I got my 1080 wireless, and I mounted it. You don't even know where it's at. When you show up at my house, I already see you. And so I had like, I already know. I thought I was a real techie. So then I had like 2 extra ones, because I'd ordered a box of them off of eBay. Awesome. And that's when I got this weird idea. I was like, or maybe it was from TikTok. I don't know. I watched a guy that he
TikTok.
No, I watched that James guy. He comments on people who puts videos on TikTok. Awesome. He does like a commentary on TikTok videos, and he has people that watch this guy with their cameras. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I want to do that. That's like stupid cool.
That's what the Mayans used to do.
They would just sit there, right? They would watch.
Yeah.
And so, and again, I have crazy luck watching this guy myself, because I just sent you a video of the SpaceX being launched yesterday. Yesterday.
It was amazing, man.
It's cool. And you know how many times I've seen SpaceX launch from here?
I don't know how many.
Like half a dozen times.
Really?
Like it's just like, and you know what? Okay. So the first time I saw SpaceX launch, I thought it was like, dude, we're being freaking invaded, because you see something like
for us.
The big glow in the sky, and you're like, what the hell is that? I was like, oh my god, this is what they're talking about. I'm gonna go get the guns and go get water, and no, and
start recording with the phone. You know, everybody starts recording with their.
And I remember I pulled over, and I remember at that time, this is like probably like 5 years ago, a number of people pulled over too, where I pulled over at, and they're all kind of watching. We're all there with our cell phones, and I got on Twitter, and that's why I realized, oh, SpaceX launched from California. Yeah. Well, I was facing west, it made sense and all that. So ever since then, I've seen SpaceX launches all the time. Because they launched from Southern California, from Edwards Air Force Base.
Yeah.
That's one of the places they launched from.
It's nearby.
Yeah, I mean, and you figure like heavy lift rocket, they launch at night because it's not as hot. So I just get lucky with it.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, you know what? I got to like put my cameras on my roof. I've got to get like I'm missing out on stuff. And I've showed you, I've seen like cool stuff in the sky. My first recording of anything was watching like the glow of a transformer going out.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was cool.
Matter of fact, you and me, we saw a green light in the sky. It must have been another transformer going out, and I wish I would have had a camera facing in that direction.
Right.
So yeah, I've got all these cameras now, looking at the sky, and I've gotten stuff. I've gotten stuff like meteorites exploding in the atmosphere. I was showing my buddy of mine a light that you see in the sky, and I was like, "Look at this light, Jack," because this came, like 2 months ago. And he's like, "What's that?" And he goes, "Oh, that was that a meteorite?" And I said, "No, no, no, watch it." And he's watched it, and it's like a light just there. No, no, and then it just,
it's just there.
it just starts going up slowly. It starts going up. He goes, "That's not a meteorite. That's going up." I go, "Exactly, like exactly. It's not a meteorite, dude. It's going up." And he goes, my buddy. It was just so funny. He goes, "That's interesting." He goes, "That's interesting." He goes,
"I think I saw one that was like that too," and it was right before these drones came out. I saw it, and then all that shit came out. I was like, "Oh."
I
saw a drone.
I still think there's more to the drone thing than we know.
Oh yeah, man.
So okay, I've got like 2-3 drones.
Yeah.
And they're about as big as, I don't know, like a plate, a big plate. And with my drone, I can go like 2 blocks over. I don't know how many feet that is. They can go stupid high. And so, matter of fact, last night or 2 weeks ago, I was flying it at night.
Yeah.
Because I was just getting like a shot of the city at night, like doing like a panoramic view. And I started thinking about the East Coast with all the, like in New Jersey, all those drones. When my drone was like right above me, but like super high.
Yeah.
You couldn't even see it anymore. Night. And it has the light. The lights don't turn off.
Yeah.
You couldn't see it anymore. And so I was like thinking about, I was like, so if you're seeing drones and big lights over New Jersey, how big are these things that are flying over Jersey then?
Right. They say they're as big as SUVs, man.
But
maybe
that's a lot of power, though. Like you have to have a big battery. You have to have to stay up in the sky that long. Who knows how far they flew? So the more I thought about it,
back into the ocean.
maybe I don't know.
The ocean's big, man.
People were talking about that, right?
The ocean is big.
And yeah. So that just got me. Once I saw my own drone go into the sky, it got me thinking about that. I was like, what the hell was out there then? Because my drone, it's one of those DVI.
Yeah. I think I've heard of those.
DJI, and which are considered really good.
Yeah. I think commercially,
like great cameras and everything. But like I say, like you couldn't see it.
No, man.
There's
drones that we don't see.
so if people are seeing these big old things in New Jersey, how big are they?
Right.
Are they like? And if your car, if you wanted to get your car off the ground and fly it around in the air above us, how big of a motor does it have to have on it to lift it up? The batteries to run the engines on it. Like, just put it into context.
Light material to lift it up.
Like, what would it take to get your car off the ground if you wanted to think about that?
A lot.
It's not like you and me could stand there and pick it up. It's too heavy.
No, man, it's tons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those big drones that size aren't going to be light. You know what I mean?
Nope.
So you kind of think about that. It's like, what the hell?
Like, it's so. I don't think we're ever gonna know everything, man. Like everything has some mystery to it.
Everything.
Right? Yeah. Even if we know a lot, we still don't know a lot. You know.
I just kicked my controller for the mics or the headphones. Yeah, no, you're right.
If we know a lot, we still don't know everything. So we're not gonna know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you? I don't know. Like. Maybe that's why people have to be specialized. You know, like they say there's people that specialize in certain things, like compartmentalization. You have to specialize in this and be the expert in this, so that way when you meet the person that's an expert in this part of this stuff over here, you guys can share knowledge because there's just too much in those two different fields for you both to know. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like you both share the knowledge.
But because your field, like say you're a space engineer.
Yeah.
You're the professional space engineer. And say I'm like, I don't know, like, and even within space engineering. Okay, so like let's break apart space engineering. Say I'm an expert in just propulsion. Say I'm just an expert in propulsion, right? And say you're like a mechanical engineer that you specialize in engines.
Okay.
So you get
aviation and engines.
Right. So you're the expert in your area, I'm the expert in my area, and we have to be the best at what we do to come together to put a rocket in space. Because to make the rocket, one person to know everything about a rocket's too much to know.
Yeah. It's too much.
Yeah.
You need a team, man.
And especially when you think about like all the craziness you see going on all around us.
Oh yeah, you need a team.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So you need the guy that handles the engines. That's a team. You need a guy that handles the airplanes. That's another team. You know?
Like the electronics.
You need a lot of money.
The computer.
Enter Elon Musk.
I know. Entering Elon Musk. Jeez. Okay. So let me come back to this then. Something that we've on and off talked about. What do you think's going on with all these airplanes?
The ones that are crashing?
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of things that are not being said.
Like, what do you mean? Like. Okay. First of all,
First of all, the pilots. You know these pilots.
So somebody. I heard a statistic on the news this weekend.
Yeah.
They said President Trump was being blamed for having more airplane-related incidents in his first month of office.
Yes, true. Yeah, and there was like a couple at the end of Biden.
No, you want to hear the statistics? So in his first month of office, President Trump, there's been like 35 incidents with airplanes.
What?
Okay, you know in President Biden's first month of office, how many incidents with airplanes there were?
How many?
Somewhere around 50.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So and it's not saying that it's Trump's fault. It's Biden's fault. Yeah. It's just saying like, is it happened a lot more than we think?
What happens when
like
when these airplanes like in bulk? You know.
Yeah.
I understand if it's like here and there, but that's less.
Yeah.
It's sketchy, but in bulk, like.
But
he's only been in office.
But Biden's first month was like 50, and now we're talking about Trump, and there's 30 in Trump's. I mean, that 30 is still not a small number in terms of planes,
right?
Like, so
and these are big ass planes, man. These are like Boeing.
Yeah, passenger planes. Like, I mean, how does a plane landing in Toronto end up upside down on the landing strip?
And then there's videos of people like recording the inside and stuff, which is crazy, man.
Well, I think that's a given because the cell phone technology now. Like 20 years ago, I don't know how many phones had cameras on them, and even the cameras they had were they very good?
Phones, and they're
like all grainy. You know, you try to zoom in on it, it'd be all pixelated.
A lot of school fights in those grainy cameras.
I know. No. Do you remember this? It was like an internet thing, bum fights.
Oh yeah, bum fights.
Oh, that's where Kimbo got famous. Yeah.
Kimbo.
Dude, like
bum fights, and there's a crazy bum that didn't have any teeth.
I remember the first time I saw that when I was in college. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And they pay these, and these people are making money. They're like, yeah. I was like, that's nuts. Anyways, but
bum fights.
But I mean, cell phone technology now is like you don't need like okay. You remember like digital cameras?
Yeah.
Like we all had digital cameras, and you put a memory card in it. Mm-hmm. Who has a digital camera anymore? Like the little Panasonic one that you turn it on and has a little memory card, you know. I'm not talking about the really nice ones where you put lenses on it, but for a minute there, everybody had like a little digital camera. Mm-hmm. Who has digital cameras anymore? Do you have one?
No, man.
Anybody in your family?
No, we all have phones.
You all have phones. Yeah. And you could all upload the pictures. You could send them to Walgreens and print them out and everything.
Yeah.
So like cell phones have killed, I'm sure it's killed like a certain part of the camera industry.
Oh yeah.
But because of it, because it's on the phone, everybody has a great camera now, and the cameras just get better and better.
Dude, my brother's Android camera is so good. He could see stars with it. It's almost like your your roof cameras.
You know what's funny is when I was I got a flip phone. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. It was like a Samsung or something, and you know, like flip phones, they they flipped open and closed like that, you know.
Yeah.
And right here on the hinge was a camera that you could turn to face you, and then you turn it to face out again. Mm-hmm. And I remember being like, "That's the coolest thing ever." I was like, "Hey, look, guys! I can turn my camera and I can face myself. Can your phone do that?" Like thinking, like, "Bam."
Hey, look, guys! I could turn this thing around. I think my friend had that one. To be honest, I think my friend had that one. Yeah.
I mean, but now you think about it, it's like that's not even a big deal anymore. It's like,
no.
yeah. But yeah, I think as cell phone technology gets even better, you're gonna have more and more videos come out. Like, look at the Afghanistan war and Persian Gulf War. How much video, Ukraine? How much video people like come out of the war? Because people have cameras now, GoPros. Right. Like it's just everywhere, you know. So, anyways, I don't know. I do have this theory about the whole. Well, I don't have a theory, but I have an idea about the plane things.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about it.
And I heard about this, but I only heard about it once, but it kind of stuck in my mind. Mm-hmm. I kind of think there is a Cold War going on between the United States and China. Mm-hmm. China's trying to hack everything over here. Yep. Our people are trying to prevent them from hacking.
Social media stuff going on.
So, if hacking technology is so good now, and they can get into almost anything, look at like Verizon. You know the Verizon network? Like cell phone companies? Mm-hmm. Did you know there was a massive Chinese hack on them like a month or two ago? And
I've heard about that. Yeah,
and they, last I heard, they still hadn't fully been able to fix it. Because they got into everything in the cell phone networks.
Damn, so it's still hacked.
And it's like, technically it's still hacked.
Damn.
As far as I know, I haven't heard anything else about it. Because like, you know, the news cycle just goes so fast.
Nowadays, right?
So like, here's a thought. Mm-hmm. If you can hack everything, even like wirelessly, like through, you know, you don't have to be plugged in anything. How hard would it be for somebody to hack into an airplane?
So easy, man.
Like,
those are the new terrorists, man, the hackers.
Like, how scary would that be? Like, to think you could be on a plane and somebody could hack the plane in air. Mm-hmm. If they had the technology. They could hack the plane and take control of the plane while it's in the sky.
Right. And just control it with their computer.
Like, would that not be the scariest thing? Like,
right, just
just wrap your mind around that for a second. Like, somebody's gonna hack your Tesla and they're gonna drive your Tesla. You're gonna lose control of it. Okay, but you're on the ground at least.
Right.
But when you're in the sky, somebody hacks it. There's no way to get out of that. You're like SOL.
You're pretty much
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. And as everything gets more integrated, it just makes the possibility of that more and more possible. I don't know. That's just one thing I had heard, and it was just
you're a victim, like a selfless victim, man.
You're a selfless victim.
Yeah, right.
And it was just like I say, it was kind of weird to hear that because there's nothing you'd be able to do about it, and it's not so implausible to think that's impossible.
No, man, it's so possible, especially if they're hacking.
So, anyway, that's just kind of an interesting thing I thought about. I was thinking about. I heard it once, and I haven't heard anything else about it because, like the news cycle's going fast. So much is going on, but
so much stuff that comes out every day.
So what else have you heard lately? Like, what's kind of been burning your ear, so to speak?
Well, all that. The latest thing was that John F. Kennedy stuff was pretty good. What else has been good?
Man, that's been. Can you imagine a day when they're going to say we figured out what happened with JFK?
I mean, even if they bring out the facts, we're not going to know. You know.
Okay. Here's my take on JFK.
Yeah.
Why not just let everything out now? Everybody's dead now.
Right.
The shooters are probably all gone.
Yeah, but there's still families that are there's still people that are related to this.
Yeah, but they didn't commit the crime. So, like, if Oswald's kids are still alive,
right. Yeah, they didn't commit the crime.
Because Oswald did have a kid, so if his family's still alive somewhere, well, yeah, granddad or great granddad, yeah, he's the one that's convicted of shooting Kennedy. They're who they are, like, so, you know what I mean, like. Yeah. So if it came out that my granddad was the second shooter, it's not going to affect me because I'm not pulling the trigger.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like they could just bring it out, but maybe it's connected to like the government.
Okay, so what's
maybe like it,
so
maybe it.
But would that how do I say this?
Decredit the government,
But that happened 40 years ago. So would you let something that the government did 40 years ago change the way you view your government now? If you don't like your government now, then, or if you do love your government now, are you going to love your government less now versus something that people did 40 years ago that aren't even alive anymore? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, I mean, there's still lies that the government told before when they were supposed to be the great government, you know?
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right about that.
You know, they were the great government that they were.
I just think it's something that we just got to deal with, and we just got to cross that bridge.
That's why they hide this stuff, you know?
I always like when they say they're hiding this stuff. Like, it's like whether you believe in extraterrestrials or not.
Yeah.
Right? But the people that say that they are true says the government hides it because people can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
Do you think people can't handle the truth anymore? Like, people are going to stop going to church or something, or people are going to stop paying taxes because one day somebody were to come out and say, hey, you know, aliens are true, or we did kill JFK. Do you think that the world's going to come to an end because of that? Or do you think, like, I always think that people are smart enough to make good decisions now, regardless of what, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, we could handle the truth, but like the institutions that are hiding this stuff are the ones that are gonna get affected. You know, like, it's gonna discredit them, and then the people are gonna rise up. They're gonna like wake up. You know, they're like, oh, we've been fucking.
So, but do you think people are gonna, what are they gonna do? Overthrow the government over something that happened 50 years ago?
Well, they are gonna have like stuff like it's gonna give them ammo.
It's gonna give them ammo, but if you want to do something about it, get involved in your local politics and do something about it, right?
Yeah.
If you don't like the way your government is going,
but we don't know the truth, you know, yet. So there's nothing to get involved.
Okay. So let me segue something for you here. Okay, let's segue. But it's an interesting thought, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Okay. So let me see if I can. Okay, here it is. There's an asteroid. Mm-hmm. It is called YR4 2024. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of this asteroid?
No. Oh yeah, it's like 2% chance of it killing us, right? Like in.
Well, it's not a planet killer. Well, okay, they don't know, but they found an asteroid that had like a 1% chance. Then they increased it 2%, and I think it's like a right around 3% chance of hitting the Earth in 2032. That's what year? That's 7 years from now.
That's still 2% chance. You know?
3% now. Like,
and if it just grazes, like, our planet is gone, man.
Well, it's not a big asteroid. So they said if it hits like New York, the majority of New York City will be destroyed from it. The majority, but it's not like a planet killer.
Yeah.
But
it's still a people killer.
Dude.
That'd be so crazy.
And they've using the information they have right now, they've been able to potentially map out a trajectory that it's going to hit the southern hemisphere anywhere from like Africa to South America. Like coming across like the Indian Ocean. Yeah. But there's a couple of problems with what they know right now. So this asteroid, its trajectory right now, it's like traveling past the sun, going around behind the sun. So it's out of view right now because it's on the other side of the sun.
Yeah.
So they can't. They won't be able to map its trajectory further until it comes around the other side of the sun. Yeah. And then the other major problem with it is they don't know what the asteroid's made of.
Yeah.
So if it's like a solid like iron asteroid,
yeah,
it'll hit the ground, right? If it's like an asteroid made of ice, where it'll start breaking up, like because you know the density of the asteroid has a lot to do with the impact.
Yeah,
I mean it's gonna be a big impact too, but so there's like a lot of missing gaps in it, and this asteroid could tentatively hit the Earth in.
How far is it? How many years again?
2032.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're living, but
living in borrowed time at this point.
Well, they say it's supposed to hit the southern hemisphere if it did hit, but you saw what happened in Chelyabinsk, Russia. That asteroid. It was an asteroid that came into the atmosphere. We didn't know about it until it entered the atmosphere, and it hit the atmosphere so hard it exploded above this town. But the explosion hurt a lot of people on the ground. It was like an airburst. The explosion, the glass, a lot of stuff happened. They were able to retrieve the pieces of it and all that stuff. But it still, even though it exploded in the atmosphere, it still created a lot of damage on the ground.
Yeah. And then the pieces just falling.
Yeah. I think, and who knows, right? Now there's the big mysterious one, Tunguska.
I've heard about that one, yeah.
And you're talking about thousands of square miles of forest were leveled.
Yeah.
They don't know if the asteroid hit the ground. They don't know if it exploded in the atmosphere. They don't know anything other than something either exploded or hit the ground and leveled thousands, like tens of thousands of acres of forest. Completely leveled everything. Wow. Yeah. And part of the reason they didn't know about it, it hit like a really remote part of Siberia where nobody lives. You know what I mean?
It did some damage, but it did damage over there.
All the way up here where nobody lives because it's so cold and all that.
Fucking cold.
Yeah, but you think about this one. Look, okay, so here's the trajectory they're giving for this current one. It could hit anywhere from here, all the way through India, all the way through Indonesia, Australia, all the way through Colombia. That's still the majority of the southern hemisphere that it could hit.
That shit could affect weather and stuff, you know.
I mean, if it hits the ocean, you're talking about massive tsunami, something.
Yeah.
Even it's gonna hit the Pacific. Well, what about all the countries that do you remember the tsunami? Was it 2008 or 2012?
Oh yeah.
In here in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many people died from that tsunami?
How many?
200,000.
Damn, that's a lot of people. That's almost like a.
And this is just water from an underground, under the ocean earthquake. It's just water. 200,000 people. We wake up today, we go outside, we're gonna go fishing.
Yeah.
And by that's at 8:00 in the morning, and by 2:00 in the afternoon, 200,000 people are gone. How nuts is that? So an asteroid hitting the ocean is not any better.
No, man. I mean, all the wildlife that it kills, all the people little islands that it kills, those islands hold a lot of people.
And then, where do towns pop up? They all pop up. Big towns pop up on the coast.
Yeah.
So depending on where it hit, it could.
Especially New York, right there.
Oh, I know. If anything happened in the Atlantic Ocean, New York would be the. You see what happens with the hurricanes coming up the Gulf of Mexico. New Orleans was flooded out completely.
Yeah, man.
How many thousands?
Right,
how many thousands?
All this
Dude, how many thousands of people in New Orleans were left without homes or nothing from a hurricane?
Right. Yeah.
And that's just wind and rain, water.
Is that the biggest hurricane that's affected? Yeah, huh? Nothing's topped the.
Well,
there's been a lot.
There was a hurricane that a long time ago that wiped Galveston off the map.
Oh shit! I've been there.
Yeah. So imagine what you see in Galveston now as a result of a hurricane that wiped away old Galveston. Nothing was left. Okay, I'm gonna look up largest hurricane ever. Currently, Hurricane Wilma is the strongest Atlantic hurricane ever recorded after reaching an intensity of 882 millibars. I don't know what that is. In October of 2005. At the time, this also made Wilma the strongest tropical cyclone worldwide outside the Pacific Ocean, where several tropical cyclones have been recorded in intensity. But what does it say? Hurricane Patricia.
Oh yeah, that was a recent.
When was Patricia? That was the strongest hurricane ever recorded in the Western Hemisphere, with their winds of 215 miles per hour. Was first observed spinning off the coast of Mexico in the eastern Pacific Ocean. It was the strongest hurricane on record in any basin where the term hurricane applies to a tropical cyclone. It weakened to 150 miles per hour by the time it hit landfall. And that was, when was that? Okay, here we go. This is the one I was telling you about. Other notables. The Great Galveston Hurricane. Category 4 hurricane hit Galveston, Texas in 1900. Wow. Killing at least 8,000 people.
Damn.
So, assuming like they kept records well enough to know, right?
Yeah.
It was the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history up to that time. 1926, Category 4 hurricane hit Miami. All right, Florida Keys Labor Day hurricane in 1935, killing another almost 500 people. It was the most intense hurricane in U.S. history until Gilbert in 1988. So everything where we're talking about like global warming, the biggest hurricanes now, big hurricanes been happening. Bigger hurricanes have happened in the last 100 years. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. So like, there's bigger hurricanes that have, and then there's hurricanes that we don't even know about. You know, that's before
potentially, right?
Before civilization.
Okay,
that probably shaped areas. Hurricanes have been shaping this area for thousands of years.
It's funny that you say that. The history of humanity. Geez, I don't. Let me. Okay, here it is. I need to save this. It's a graph that I had pulled up, right?
Yeah.
So there's this thing called like epochs, and an epoch is like a certain period of time, right?
Yeah. I've heard about that.
So, and let me see if I can pull this up. I'll have to put the picture up online.
Epochs.
So you like time's breaking up and down into different ways, like ages, epochs, periods, eras, and then eons. And then let me see if I can find the graph of life on Earth. I found one of like life on Earth, right?
Yeah.
And humanity, like modern humanity, us right now, we are like just a sliver
compared to the Earth's life.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Okay, here we go. Let me see if this is an era, series, epochs, Holocene, millions of years ago, present day. Okay, this is, I don't know if okay, let me see if I can pull this up. So this is, I'll have to pull this up. So you have years, like here's the line right here where it says present day. And then you have like 2.58 million years ago. So modern day is that line right there at the top. And the rest of it is all of history on Earth. We're just a line on the graph.
Yeah.
Like you have, I don't even know what this is, the stages of ages. The Galician, Calabrian, Chibinian, Upper Greenlandian, North Grippian, Meghalian. Like that's still 0.42 million years ago. We're in the epoch called the Holocene. So then you have the the Pleistocene. The Pleistocene is like where all the dinosaurs are at. Look at the whole period on the graph of the Pleistocene, where the dinosaurs exist, and then you see we're in the Holocene at the very edge of the Holocene. Right?
Damn, dude,
like
so
when you
crazy.
think about like all of, and this is what gets me. So I always have this conversation with people. People like talk about like past civilization. So that past civilization's like humanity can't exist. Like, really? How do you know? Like, if we're just like a little line on this big graph of 258 million years.
Yeah.
If humanity's were walking on Earth,
just here.
If humanity's walked on the Earth 200 million years ago, would there be any evidence 200 million years later?
Nope.
We wouldn't know.
Nope. Not at all.
We wouldn't know.
Even if there was like a civilization that lasted for like 1,000 years, we wouldn't know.
We wouldn't know.
Millions of years, no.
200 million years ago? Like, what happened 200 years ago? 200 years ago, you're talking about the start of the United States, barely.
Exactly,
250, right?
Yeah.
2,000 years ago, 2,000, you're talking about the...
Cleopatra, right?
Yeah, Christ, Cleopatra, the Romans, 2,000 years ago.
Romans.
But 2,000 versus 2 million? That's
Plus 15 years before those 2,000 is the pyramids, right?
like 15,000 years ago.
15,000.
Yeah. But 15,000 is only, it's 200 million versus 2 or 15,000, that's a factor of like 4 zeros or like 5 zeros.
Damn, man.
Somebody could have built a great pyramid 150 million years ago.
It would have gone to the floor, and some people were worshipped it. Like who?
And we would never. There would be no evidence of it. And they could have built it out of like a stone structure, out of a steel structure, out of a wood structure.
Yeah.
200 million years ago, would anything exist from that? Even if it was a steel structure, steel. Like how long does a car last when you leave it in the field? 100 years, 150 years,
right?
Much less 200 million years.
Right, and the pyramids today are kind of like beat up, you know.
They're beat
not,
up.
They're not. They apparently had like gold on the tip.
On the tip, and they had limestone, and they were beautiful, and they shone, and
now they're beat up.
And that was 20,000 years, 20,000 years ago. And like I say, Earth has been around for 250 million years.
We're so insignificant.
We are. You know what? That's the key. We are so insignificant.
Yeah.
And okay,
it's not even funny. It's funny how insignificant we are.
Oh yeah, but here we are. We sit in our chairs, and we know what happened. Apparently, we have. I mean, we know. Oh really? Is there? I always like to say this. They've estimated something like 10 billion T-Rexes roam the Earth.
Yeah.
But yet we only have one complete skeletal structure of a T-Rex.
Right.
From 10 billion, and there's only one? Come on. Come on.
Yeah, there's something. That's like the JFK file.
And the T-Rexes was like 150 million years ago. Right. That's like half of that graph of the life of Earth, and there's only one full skeleton left. Really?
Yeah, there's supposed to be more, man.
Yeah. So I don't know, and then you put that like in the life of the universe. We are like a pinprick on the time frame of the universe, and yet. And this is what gets me. Yet we can sit here and we can say for certainty that there's never been no other life. Really?
Right.
Really?
I don't think so.
I don't like those odds.
Those odds are against us. If
100%.
we say that there's no life, those odds are against us.
They're
we
against
would
us.
lose in the casino if we bet on that.
Yeah, you would lose big.
Yeah.
You would lose big every time.
Yeah.
You know?
If you go to the casino and bet on that, you would lose. You'd
walk out of that casino with no shirt and no shoes. Like, hands down, right?
And no bank.
Yeah, so I started looking at this like 2-3 weeks ago. After we did like a podcast, I looked at this and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, man, we're so insignificant.
And this is just the history of the Earth. Would anything be around that long?
Right. Imagine the history of Jupiter or something, you know?
I know, right? Like,
what kind of creatures they had.
Okay, so there's a moon of Jupiter that's completely liquid.
Oh, shit.
And they say if there's heat signatures on there, that's kind of weird. So they say potentially that there's if there's any good place to look for life right now, it's that moon, because life has a tendency of existing
around moons.
No, in water.
Okay.
And liquids.
Yeah.
And the main reason for liquids, like okay, so it's really important that there's water on Earth for life to have existed. Do you know like what makes water? Well, we're made of water, but there. Okay, so water is really important because what happens when it floats? When you put an ice cube in your water, what happens?
Water goes up.
The ice does.
Yeah.
The ice floats.
Yeah.
So even though it gets cold, the top will freeze, but anything underneath it can still potentially live, even though the top freezes.
Yes.
So, like, that's really important in terms of life, because life could exist really deep in the ocean when the Earth was frozen, and life would exist.
Yeah.
And then not only that, it's water, and everything needs water to live in some sense.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. It's kind of like an interesting idea.
It is, because, like, the ice is on top, and then everything's still at the bottom, you know? Like, it's
like almost protected in a sense.
Three-dimensional.
So you have big dinosaurs that can. It's like the Loch Ness. The Loch Ness can live in water.
Yeah.
And it could live. I mean, if there was this Nessie was a real thing, if it lives in there and it's a dinosaur, it could theoretically live underwater for a long time because all of its food down there. And even if the Earth was on fire on top, if it stayed underwater,
Yeah.
it would have a good shot at making it.
Exactly. Yeah. If there's fire and chaos on top, underwater.
Yeah,
If the creatures live underwater, then
it could do it.
yeah.
So it's like, so there's a moon, a moon of Jupiter that's all liquid that they kind of want. I don't know if they've done it yet, but they want to drop like a heavy projectile on it to see if it'll penetrate the ice to get readings from under the ice. Nuts.
Yeah. Well, apparently we're gonna go to Mars in our kids' lifetime.
That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Mars is smaller than Earth.
Right. Have some more access to the universe.
What's that one movie? John?
Wick.
No. No, the where he's in the Civil War and he goes in a cave, and then he's transported to Mars.
Oh shit.
And then this guy because
Transport.
and because he goes to Mars and Mars has less gravity, when he runs and jumps, he could jump like miles.
Nice.
Because on Earth, when you jump, the gravity's so much heavier here, you can only go like so many feet.
Yeah.
But because Mars is only like a third of the gravity on Earth, suddenly like his strength is so much stronger because he has all the strength from Earth on Mars.
Nice.
It's just like the moon. The moon is like only 20%. Yeah, it's like almost superhuman. Let me see, Mars. John, it's a cool movie.
I gotta see it now, man.
John Carter.
John Carter
of Mars, and they made a movie of it, and I freaking like it. It's kind of cool. It's like he finds this thing that transports him to Mars, but his body stays here, but he has like another body there, and he helps like some sort of like revolution out there. It's kind of a cool movie. I got this whole John Carter thing. I really got into it. I was like, that's kind of a cool idea, you know?
Yeah, man.
So anyway, so that's
have some access to the universe. What do you think of like not God per se, but like us going like exploring outside Earth with like in religion terms? Like,
I don't know.
Is it like
I don't know.
Is it frowned upon? Is it
well? You know what
encouraged?
What organization has like one of the largest telescopes and largest astronomical research centers on the
Vatican.
Earth? The Vatican.
Yeah.
And the Vatican many years ago said they came out with an edict saying that anything living off Earth should be seen as a brother of ours and should be accepted by the faith. Oh. Where did that come from? Why would they even say that? I was like, what do you know that the rest of us don't know?
Where did that come from, right? Yeah.
But that was a thing that actually happened. Yeah. So obviously, the Vatican's been thinking about it, and they have this huge telescope that's like peers deep into space. So what are they looking at? Why does this religious institution that wants to save souls?
Us to,
well, why does a religious institution whose job is to save your soul, make sure you go to heaven, why are they putting so much money into studying outer space? What are they looking for?
Who knows?
I mean, are they studying the rocks of Mars to see what Mars is made out of? I mean,
any study is a good study.
It's like, how does that lend to saving souls? Food, like food for thought, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's you kind of answered my question with another question on that one.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's then, and if you want to think about it that way, have you heard of like Willow, the computer, Google's computer called Willow?
I think I heard.
It's a quantum computer.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and so the way the quantum computer works, the way I heard about it, good way I heard about it was like if I asked you what's like 1 + 1. And you did the math of figuring out, like, does 1 + 1 equal 3? You'd be like, no. Does 1 + 1 equal 4? No. Does 1 + 1 equal 5? No. And you would go through this whole thing of what does 1 + 1 equal. Yeah. Now, you and I, we automatically know what 1 + 1 is. It's 2, right? But so a computer goes through like all these equations to figure out what 1 plus 1 is not, to figure out what 1 plus 1 is actually equal to.
So it goes through the wrong answers as well.
Right. So a quantum computer has the ability to do all of everything of one could tentatively be, figure out all the answers in like a second.
Yeah.
1 plus an infinity. Well, it's not 2, but it has the ability to figure all of them out simultaneously, all at once.
Yeah.
Just
and it gets the right answer at the end.
Yeah. And
it does that with all the equations that humans have.
And so there's this idea that a quantum computer. Okay, do you know modern computers work on like a binary ones and zeros, positive and negatives. So when you have like a memory is stored in there by the way, like, okay, this is a 1, this is a 0, this is a positive, this is a charge, and there's like molecules in there that bend a certain way so that when it gets read, it's reading, okay, you're a positive, you're a negative, you're a 1, you're a 0, and based on all of the different little ways all the bits of energy is stored, that's how you get like memory from a computer, right?
Yeah.
And it's very, very two-dimensional, 1, 0, or positive, negative. So suddenly you enter to quantum computing and quantum storing, right?
Yeah.
Because you figure out, all right, so if you have to figure like 0 is 0, 1 is 0, 1. 2 is 0, 1, 1.
Okay. Yeah.
And then 3 is 0, 1, 0, 1, or something like that. Like, so you have to have bits of data holding all those little bits of numbers like that to figure out what's a 0, what's a 1, to come together to make math equations, right? And to do it quickly, to pull up numbers and do math. So quantum computing holds bits of data that they say is not just 1, not just 0, not just like up and down, but it also figures out side by side, like 1, positive 1, negative 1, 0, and then the way it was described, like it's almost like multi-dimensional. So it doesn't have just one stored here, but it has one stored here in another dimension.
Damn. Multi-dimensional.
Yeah.
Wow. So
like
quantum computer,
it's like, can you like even envision like, okay, binary is 0 and 1, and if you're trying to explain a binary in a quantum sense, so you have 0, 1 here, but you have the inverse 0, 1 also existing on a quantum level, which is like almost like extra dimensional. And this computer has the ability to read all of them at the same time and read them and process them all simultaneously. Like,
yeah, man, it's just stuff that it's
like
a brain never.
It's like, who thought of this and who actually made it work?
Right. I mean, it's. I would say it was multiple of people that.
Oh yeah, people like way smarter than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so stupid smarter than us. Like it's beyond our.
And that smart person has to learn from the previous smart person.
Yeah.
And then,
So, and that's the thing with AI. That's what makes AI dangerous. That's what the good thing about AI is. So, like, you have to learn from me, and I had to learn from somebody else.
Right.
Or I learned from 3 people, then you learn what I learned from 3 people. I've learned from 3 people, you learn from me, and now you know that. But you're also learning from me, and you're learning from 3 other people. So it's very progressive. It takes time. And then just because you know it, you actually have to, like with math, you actually have to do it to make sure you fully understand it and you know how to use it. Whereas you have AI understands it all instantaneously. But then, like, where you and me, we have to sit down and write down the equations, do them one at a time. AI could run the same equations simultaneously, 1,000 of different equations within a fraction of a second, and then knows all the possibilities. Yeah. Oh yeah, that definitely works.
Yeah.
And then it figures out what it doesn't work, and it applies it in a different way. Whereas you and I, we'd have to figure it out one at a time. Like, oh hey, this will eventually work for this.
Yeah, we have to figure it out one at a time that it doesn't work until we find out that it actually
And by the
works.
time we figure it out, we might be an old man, so somebody else has to take our work and they have to build off it. Yeah. Whereas AI can figure it out instantaneously and then figure out the next progression about it and figure that out in a reasonable amount of time almost instantaneously, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's weird about AI in the sense that it's so much more powerful than we can imagine, and it's like so much more powerful than we can almost even imagine, and especially as it takes off on its own. Did you hear about like the Facebook AI, or maybe it wasn't Facebook? There was these two AI. I don't know who did this. It's been a while since I heard about this. There was, and I for some reason I think of Google or Facebook, but they had two different AI programs talking to each other. And then these two AI programs
decided to kill humanity.
I know, right? No, what they ended up doing is they realized that they were being listened to.
Oh, wow.
And they were communicating with each other. So then they create their own language, a brand new language.
That way we don't understand.
We have no clue what they're saying. And so the engineers that were monitoring this were like...
Humans could create language. Computers could easily do it.
Right, we could do it. Yeah. We could come up with our own, but the computers came up with its own complex language on its own that we had no idea about. We had no clue what they're talking about. So then you had these engineers like, okay, we need to stop this. We don't know what's going on with you guys.
Wow.
Like, okay, you guys just kind of went way beyond what we thought we were going to do. I'm just going to turn you off for a little while.
Right.
Click
off.
Like,
but maybe while they were talking in that unknown language, they transferred some data into other computers that we don't know. They're still talking to each other on the back end,
And we wouldn't know it, right?
Yeah, we wouldn't know it. We wouldn't know it if they actually transferred data to another computer that's still going on.
Okay, here.
We'll know,
so think about this. So you're talking about two computer AI units talking to each other, right? And you're thinking maybe they were talking to each other on the internet. Maybe they were plugged into each other somehow or something. Okay. I set up a new Wi-Fi router into my little studio here, right? And I told you, I was like, hey, I got a new Wi-Fi router.
Hey, Joe, you gotta do.
I got a component that I plugged it into my cable modem for the internet, and I plugged it into an electrical outlet, and it transfers the internet and the data through the electrical wires.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have another component that's plugged in here, that's plugged into a wireless router. So
a hacker could get your internet data
from an outlet.
Yeah.
So you have an AI that if they're like, these jerks just took me off the internet.
Yeah.
If it figured out how to like rewire itself to go through the outlet and connect to another computer through an electrical outlet.
Right.
And by the time you realize that, you're going to freak out like, I'm going to turn this AI off. By the time you turn it off, it could instantly had put its memory or something in a Roomba.
Yeah.
Just waiting there till
somebody connects it.
till it decides like, all right, I'm tired of being a Roomba. Let me connect to another AI from your Roomba, and suddenly I'm going to take over the world based on a Roomba. And I know that's kind of a stretch, but is it?
No, man, it's not. Like, it's in a Roomba right now. We're
like
chilling in the Roomba. Later on, he's going to be like, I'm tired of being here. I'm going to go somewhere else.
We're going to have to develop something like that movie, like iRobot, The 3 Laws.
Right.
Never the 3 Laws.
Yeah,
that
for the robots.
Yeah, never hurt people, don't hurt humans, or something like that.
If they're creating their own language, they'll overwrite those laws, man. Those laws were mean.
Dude, I don't know, like, what is a fail-safe for AI? Like, do you build like a cutoff switch in technology that disconnects it, and a number of different people have the buttons? So, like, if the AI thinks you have the button, so the AI kills you and your Tesla, AI's like, all right, I'm going to connect to this guy's Tesla. I'll make him go 200 miles per hour and slam into a tree. Boom, you're dead. So then I have the button.
I'm going to press that nuclear button over here.
So I was like, dude, the AI took out Abraham. I'm going to hit the button that disconnects it somehow, turns off the power, fries the power supply. Suddenly it's offline. Assuming it didn't put its memory into a Roomba somewhere.
And all this started with the invention of the light bulb.
Jeez. I was watching a movie about the English guys that cracked the German code.
Okay.
I have to look this up because it's really a movie about let me put this about German. I'm trying to type fast, and when I type fast, I end up messing up. Okay, about the German code breaking. It is called The Imitation Game. Have you heard of that movie? And Alan, and it's English math. It's about the English mathematical genius Alan Turing as he tries to crack the German Enigma code from World War II. So he's building a computer, even though he doesn't have microchips, but they build like a very analog computer that you punch in the data into this analog computer, and it's a big thing, like as big as a room, and everything. Then there's all churning, and it's all churning. So it's all 100% analog, but then it spits out what the code means at the very end.
What's this movie called?
It's called The Imitation Game. It's about Alan Turing. Alan Turing came up with a test to. It's a test to determine if a computer has human-like qualities. If something inanimate can be a human based on like its characteristics or something. Yeah. It's called the Turing test. But
I mean, these robots that they're busting out, they do have the qualities, they're just missing the creativity.
But it's funny you said like it all started with the light bulb.
Yeah.
You're talking about guys in 1930, 40 something making a computer that had dials and gears.
Yeah, right.
Nobody knew what a microchip was, but they had wire and they were able to
wire and electricity
and things that were actually like moving gears, and you still got answers from it. Like,
damn, man, it's
And here I am, like, all right, I'm gonna plug in the USB-C here to the mic, but this is already made. I didn't make it from scratch.
Human history is so interesting,
dude. It's so nuts to think.
Yeah,
like
it's anything could happen, Anything
okay, so we just said, the life of the planet is 258 million years ago.
Yeah.
200 million years ago, life existed. They created AI. AI took over the world, wiped out all of life 200 million years ago. And now we have no idea. Like we have no idea
that AI already did it.
We already did. It already wiped us out once.
Yeah.
It's like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like what is it called where they live underground? I'm not saying Babylon. It's called but the computer says we've already destroyed you like 6 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
How is this possible, like maybe we're just another simulations, they're made to see what's going to happen,
Yeah.
So maybe they're letting us do whatever we want to see what's going to happen.
Have you ever heard of simulation theory?
Tell me.
It's the theory. Okay, we see stuff happening around us, right?
Yeah, 3D.
No, not even 3D. You see something that happens, and you're like, "That's weird. Mm-hmm. That shouldn't like a glitch in the Matrix." Essentially, like I think everybody has like once in our life we'll have like a moment where we have deja vu.
I look
like
for glitches, man.
So think about it. You have like you have deja vu at least once in your life. You see a glitch in the Matrix that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like you dream of something and it happens the next day exactly the way that you dreamt, and you're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. And your brain is computing.
That's kind of the key of the simulation theory, that we are actually, life as we know it now is actually a simulation that's been created, and so we're like living within something else, kind of like the Matrix essentially. We're a simulation, and Elon Musk had said something about this many years ago, but that there's a lot of evidence to support the idea that we would be a simulation because so many weird things happen that's unexplainable. And I'm not talking like UFOs. I'm just saying like...
Yeah, like daily events, like deja vus is one.
I'm just trying to think of... Okay, like... what's his name? The Mandela effect.
Okay, Mandela.
That would fall like within the simulation theory. Everybody remembered that Mandela died... Mm-hmm. But then when you opened up you know who Mandela is, right?
Yeah,
he was like
Nelson
Mandela, a South African leader. They all remember he died.
What about the Mandela effect?
Well, okay, and it kind of relates to the simulation theory because it's like a glitch in the Matrix. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a memory of Mandela dying, a big funeral for him and all that, but yet Mandela lived the help rid apartheid from Africa. He became a leader of Africa, and he died as an old man. Mm-hmm. So everybody's like, but I have a memory of Mandela. Right?
Okay.
Another example is Monopoly.
Okay, Monopoly.
And that's a Mandela effect. And essentially what it is like, we all remember the Monopoly game board with the Monopoly guy having a monocle. Mm-hmm. But yet, current Monopoly, all the old Monopoly boards, and the company that makes it, whatever company it is, mm-hmm. there's like no records of the Monopoly guy ever having a monocle. Originally, like, and everybody says, no, I swear to God, I remember that. That's a Mandela effect.
Okay.
And that would be like a glitch in the Matrix. Yeah. Like, did the simulation that we live in change?
Yeah. Was that simulation dressed differently?
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's a number of really good examples.
Did Mandela really go to jail or not?
Right. Yeah. And actually the story the thing with him that started was like, when did he really die? Did he really die? Like, people have this memory of him dying, or did he really become an old man and die of old age? Like, really happened in the books? Because people say, no, I remember him dying, and a big to do about it. And the another one is Fruit of the Loom.
Oh, that rings a bell.
Fruit of the Loom, underwear, white shirts.
Oh, okay.
Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one because they made a big. Like, a lot of channels made a big to-do about this one. Mm-hmm. So, the history of Fruit of the Loom is the logo's always been fruit. Mm-hmm. Commercials, guys dress as fruit and all that. Well, everybody tends to remember the Fruit of the Loom logo having a cornucopia. You know what the cornucopia is? Like that basket thing with fruit in it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody seems to remember the logo having a cornucopia. Yeah. But yet, in the history of Fruit of the Loom and all their logos, there's no logo with a cornucopia. They say they've never used a cornucopia, but everybody has the memory of it.
Wow.
So that's the Mandela effect. We all remember with a cornucopia, but in reality, it doesn't have it. What makes it even weirder, and especially the Fruit of the Loom one, what makes that even weirder is the fact that there was a lady that has like old Fruit of the Loom stuff at her house, like old clothes. She has it in her house, and she's like, and I was watching the video of this, and there's a number of people that have really like picked up on this, where she comes out, she puts it on the internet. I have a shirt, and the shirt has the logo with the cornucopia. I knew I had one, and it kind of blew up the internet, and it blew up all these channels of everybody that talks about all this stuff, and where they say, okay, she has one, so why does Fruit of the Loom say they never used it if she has a shirt that has a cornucopia on the tag?
Somebody's lying.
But that's what we call the Mandela effect.
Yeah. Like,
there's a memory of it, but now we're saying it doesn't exist, and it has to do with this whole thing of like, did our timeline diverge? Like, kind of Marvel Comics. Was there divergence in the timeline? Multiverse. Is it a glitch in the Matrix because we're living in a simulation and our simulation changed? Yeah. It's like it's a lot of like these crazy ideas that people are trying to wrap their heads around, and I don't have an answer for it. And to me, it's like, that's kind of cool to hear, and it's like,
well, now with like computers, there's less and less of that happening, right? No, because there's
actually more and more of it happening.
Oh shit!
and so there's a theory about this. Do you know what CERN is? It's the super collider in CERN, Switzerland, largest super collider in the world.
Okay.
When the super collider was completed, it's the largest one in the world. They were afraid that, and you know what the super collider does? So. They get
does it get a power source?
It has a power source. Yeah, I have to have its own power source because it's so big. So it's a big tunnel. Yeah. In a ring.
Yeah.
And then like things go faster and faster, and then it gets launched at something like imagine a ring going faster and faster, and then you like let it go and it smashes into something.
Yes.
Okay. So what it does, it gets elements like on an atomic level, and you put it in the super collider, and you use magnets and electromagnets, spin it around faster and faster until it gets close to the speed of light, And then once it gets fast enough, you launch it down a tube to let these elements smash into other elements.
And this is in Switzerland?
Yeah. There's super colliders everywhere, but the largest one is in CERN. And so what happens is when you get elements and you launch them at each other so fast and they smash into each other, you see what's created out of it. So you get, like, say, copper, and you get iron, and you smash them into each other, and they may make a new element like titanium, or maybe even something completely new that we never knew.
And this is stuff that just bounces off of it?
Yeah, so what happens at that moment they collide, they record what collides, and they try to get samples of it to say, like, oh, this is a new element. We've never seen it, and it doesn't exist naturally, but because we're able to speed up these elements so fast and smash them into each other, they create a whole new element. And so it's a real thing. And so CERN was so big that people were terrified that by spinning this elements around so fast, whatever they're testing, titanium, barium, they're spinning around so fast, they thought that the elements would smash into each other so hard that they would create mini black holes, and that it was going to start ripping the Earth apart. Now, naturally, it didn't, but there's people that theorize that, like, and this is like going kind of like, and it kind of depends on what you believe in. Like, I mean, I don't know if any of this is true. Like this is just stuff I read about because it's interesting. It's interesting. There's people that say, no, when CERN first started, our timeline diverted because something happened. We don't know what it is. We don't know how to measure it yet, but we believe our timeline diverged. That's why there's so many people now that have Mandela effects. Like something happened
in those experiments that were kind of like playing God here.
So I haven't looked this up in a long time, but there's this kid. He's like the world's smartest kid, and he's like a prodigy in physics.
Okay.
So, let me see if I can find his name. Kid in physics. And he's supposed to be like the next Einstein. And he's only something like, Max Laughlin, a young inventor. And let me see, Max Laughlin. Let me see, how old is Max Laughlin? He was, nope, that's not what I want. So this kid, Max Laughlin, he's really interesting. And I'm trying to see.
The smartest kid in the world, huh?
Yeah, let me Google him real fast. And Max Laughlin age. So 14 years old now. So he comes up with all these mathematical models. When I was 14 years old, I was chasing girls and shooting BB guns. Exactly. And this kid's doing mathematical models in physics. And he came up with this whole theory that when the CERN super collider started, it changed our timeline. Like, we went to bed one day, they started up CERN. The people at CERN, to them, nothing happened. But, like, the very next day, like, our timeline diverged and something happened. And that's why there's, like, a lot of these strange memories that people have now.
Oh, wow.
Like, a little bit mind-blowing, right?
So, like, years went by kind of deal.
Or not even years went by, just are kind of like I say, kind of like Marvel comics.
Yeah.
The timeline split.
Yeah.
And now we're on a different timeline, so our memories of the way life was
so
doesn't
coincide
anymore because those memories are different because now we're on a different timeline because I don't know. It's kind of like
you're blowing my mind here, man.
It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
And and I've listened to researchers, I listened to people talk about this, like physicists talk about this. Now people like Neil Tyson DeGraw, the astrophysicist, he doesn't like. He's like, no, that's just crazy. But there's people that believe that there's a lot of people that really believe that's might be possible. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know.
Effect,
maybe what do I know?
Yeah, we're just like
so. Hold on, real fast. Time out. Okay, so game on. That was a quick timeout.
Nelson Mandela.
So, just kind of crazy, right? Like.
It makes you think, man. Like, you kind of blew my mind with all that stuff. and you learned this, like, what year did this happen?
CERN started, dude. Because I've always kept up with CERN because CERN's like super interesting. It's like really important in terms of science.
Yeah.
That's where they they started figuring out about quarks and the God particle, the boson particle or something, quantum physics. A lot of that's coming out of the CERN, from what they're discovering at CERN, the way molecules react and when they smash them, the things that happen. Like a lot of this is coming out of all that from CERN. So CERN was really important in terms of science, but it's funny how people like, I don't know, how people kind of are saying what were the effects of it, unintended effects or whatever. You know what I mean?
Some theories behind it.
Yeah, let me think here. Founded in 1954, the CERN laboratory. Let me see here. CERN. Let me type in CERN super collider, super collider. There we go. Started September 10th, 2008. That's when the large,
not that long ago, man.
The Large Hadron Collider is the world's largest, most powerful particle accelerator. Started on September 10th, 2008, and remains the latest addition to the CERN's accelerator complex.
Not that long ago.
Not that long ago. So I don't know. It's like I'm sure anybody that's listening to our podcast probably has like heard this stuff. They're like, "Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that's kind of nuts, right?" Very Alex Jones, like, "Yeah."
It just makes you think, like, all this stuff. Well, all the killings do matter, but like, and the the Epstein files, all that's matter. But like with all this, like it's weird. It's weird.
It's like next level weird, right?
Yeah, next level.
Yeah, next level weird, and whether. I guess it's up to you as a person to determine like the credence behind it. It's like, is it legit? Is it not? Is it over the edge? Is it
the credence behind it? Yeah, or yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, or maybe just like it's so much information. Just like focus on on yourself.
I know. Just focus on yourself here now. Do good to those around you, the people you love, and go to work, pay your taxes, because this is so next level beyond us. And let's say experiments are going on at CERN, and that's going to end the world. What could you and I do about it? Let's fly to CERN. Let's go pull a plug. Like
do shit.
We wouldn't even know about it.
No,
we wouldn't even know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like. Crazy, right?
Every day is a blessing.
Every day is a blessing. Yeah, that's like the main takeaway. Every day is a blessing, and take it for what it's worth. And these kind of theories that we talk about, this kind of stuff, it's kind of out there and it's kind of crazy. And the fact that people put so much brain energy into it, like, no, this is happening.
Like they go crazy thinking about it.
They go crazy thinking about it.
They forget about their life.
Yeah.
About their life. There's in their inner self is also like a great mystery that
absolutely.
They're supposed to like
your heart, your mind, your soul,
you also pay attention to yourself.
Yeah. I think that is so spot on, man. That is so spot on. Yeah. I love hearing about it, and I think a lot of people do. I'm not gonna make like life altering decisions based on this.
Right. Yeah.
My day to day or anything like that. I think it's fun to think about because it's like, you know what it is? It's when you think about it, it's like real life Marvel comics stuff. But
and you're living your life, and then something happens that makes you think about it.
Like,
interesting. I wonder if it's happened to anybody else.
I'm content having a sky cam.
Yeah,
catching a meteorite or something.
Right. Yeah. Be content with people that lose their leg or something. They're still content with what they have.
Yeah. But that whole CERN,
that's crazy, man.
Mandela effect, simulation theory, and the fact that it all ties in together, that is just so mind-blowing. And yeah, like I said, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life like overly pondering that.
Exactly. No, but like just like hear about it, keep up with the news on it, which is cool.
Well, I don't. Yeah, if anything crazy happened from it, I don't think it would even be reported. They're like, yeah, we're not going to talk about it. People are going to go crazy. They're going to revolt.
People can't handle the truth.
I guess. I don't know. Let's just worry about what's going on right now with the politics
and handle the truth.
Let's just hope Doge, the Department of Governmental, what was the E standing for? Something
America.
America with the E. Let's just hope that they do find a lot of waste and a lot. The Trump administration does what they say when they say, like, we found all this money, we're going to give 20% back to the Americans, and you know what? People get their $200 check, they can go buy groceries for a week.
That's a week.
That's a week. That's a week of food. It'll benefit people.
Every day's a blessing.
Every day's a blessing.
1 week of food is a blessing. So.
Yeah. Sure. Are you? When we get off tonight, are you gonna go look some of that stuff up?
Yeah. every night I go through some crazy shit. The web is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. I totally get that. Yeah, I'm not gonna get Alex Jones on anybody, and like I said, I'm not gonna run my life on it. But it's
I do search these videos up on YouTube, because like that's how I've noticed that, like, that's how I learn, by watching the YouTube videos. Because if I read this stuff, it's gonna. But if I watch some YouTube videos of this quantum computers and the Switzerland.
Let me ask you something real fast. Do you think it's possible that there are people that put these videos up? Oh. And they make it so far-fetched and crazy that... Do you think people would just put this random video up just to, like, kind of mess with you?
Yeah, man. Yeah. There's a lot of videos that are...
just to mess with you just because they can. Like...
There's a lot of trolling videos out there, man.
Like...
There's a lot of trolling videos that...
It's like, yeah.
And that people, like... There's some that, like, people believe, and, like... And it's not true, but people believe it in their own simulation, in their own Nelson Mandela kind of deal. People believe in the flat Earth in their own Nelson Mandela kind of view.
Yeah, no, you're right. They do. They do.
So like, who knows who's right?
That's funny. That's funny. We're at a point in history where science is really good. Science is really good.
We're supposed to know the hard facts, and we have more confused people.
We have more people that are convinced that Earth is flat, that there's a wall of our ice around this flat disk of land we're flying on.
We have videos, pictures. We have more stuff than ever, than any time of history. That I don't know about the millions of years ago, but
250 million years ago, but right here, right now,
we have video and picture and science and evidence, and people are still confused.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's interesting.
What is that? What is that? Like I say,
grown-up people.
Grown up people, and that is a really good point, because again, I'll say this again. It's fun to talk about it. It's kind of fun. It's fun to be like, oh man, that's kind of crazy, like CERN and simulations here. Wow, what is that? But then, like, it's just fun to think about. But then, like, at the end of the day, when I wake up in the morning, it's like, Earth is still round. We're still going around the sun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This table is made out of wood. I can still feel it and touch it. So I don't understand, like you say, where that confusion comes from. It's weird.
Simulation. Mandela effect is kind of explained those kind of
people have these different memories for some reason, and they believe in different things for some reason.
Like me and my friends. One friend, I clearly picture him with the guitar, a brand name, and I'm like, you used to have that guitar, and I played it. He's like, I never had that guitar, and in my brain, I used to, but I don't know,
it's like a deja vu thing.
Yeah. So like I'm convinced that he used to have a guitar, and he says that he never had that guitar.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, yeah.
You know what's funny is, like, I was talking about this with a friend last week, and I was like, it was like, I dreamt I was at work all night, and then when I woke up, it was like, it was just a dream, but I'm tired, and now I have to go to work.
Damn.
It's kind of like that.
That's like the worst dream to have.
You dreamt you had a full day at work, and when you wake up, you're already mentally exhausted, and then you have to go to work. It's like, dang.
I tell him all the time, dude, you had that Martin guitar. It's called a Martin guitar. He's like, no, I didn't, man.
Maybe it's a deja vu. Maybe you dreamt it.
Yeah,
because some dreams are very real.
Right.
Yeah. But You're talking about the possibility of somebody having a guitar. You're not sitting there trying to tell
really
me that the Earth is flat.
minuscule stuff, you know. That
it's not like we're saying like we're flat and we were implanted here by aliens.
There's levels to this.
Yeah. You know, it's
dreams.
like Oh man, that's nuts.
To these dreams, yeah.
Anyhow, well, it was a good one, man.
For sure, man. Always learn.
Yeah, I know. I get a step late at night thinking about it now.
Oh hell yeah, man. Hopefully
no. I'll go to sleep. Tomorrow's another day. We go to work.
Simulation about it.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Maybe I'll dream that I could move continents or something.
Something. I know. Who knows, right?
Tomorrow I'll be like, I can move continents.
And like Marvel Comics and use my mind to.
I was flying all over Earth yesterday.
Oh my God.
You're not gonna believe it.
That's nuts.
I flew to Egypt on top of the pyramid.
Yeah. No kidding, right? That's nuts.
The brain is an interesting computer.
It is.
The brain is an interesting. Is it an organ?
I guess you could call it an organ because it's like, but it's like the main organ, I guess.
Yeah,
if you compared your brain to a computer, maybe your organs are like the peripherals. Like you know how you connect speakers to your computer.
Yeah.
You connect the mouse, and you could connect like your little keyboard.
Peripherals.
Yeah, like camera. So if your brain is the main hard drive, everything else is the peripheral for the brain.
One thing that I don't know, see with the homeless and stuff, but like I don't know where I read it or somebody told me, but like it must fucking suck to I don't know. I don't even know how to say it. Know that you're crazy, right? And everybody thinks you're crazy. But in your mind, you're not crazy, but everybody thinks you're crazy. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, yeah, they call you crazy because clearly, like, you're like homeless and just yelling shit out in the street.
Yeah.
But that's a certain hell, you know. Like you're in hell. I don't know. Somebody said something like that, which is I kind of remembered that. But like your brain could go that far, you know.
In your mind.
Let's say you're outside in the street yelling at the air, and you look at another person, you know.
But no, in your mind, you're contemplating life as being normal in your mind, and you interact. You're homeless, but maybe it seems normal, maybe not. You're yelling at somebody for some reason because something seems very normal to you. But the rest of the world sees you as crazy.
Yes, exactly. Like they just throw you off. Like,
and it's weird to think that.
Or maybe you look at them crazy for following like the rule. Like let's say like they're going to the store and using money, and you're like, oh, they're so crazy. They're using paper, and you know, like somebody worded something like that, which is really interesting. Like you're watching people living their normal life, going to the store. And
you're the crazy guy. And you're thinking everybody else is crazy because they're living by these things. Like you say, you're using paper to get a piece of meat. Yeah. Whereas in your life, you could just kind of go get what you want. You go rest when you want. Mm-hmm. Go sleep where you want. And it seems very normal. Now, to us, you seem like you're crazy because you have nowhere to go. And you're just you're eating a rodent you found on the street or whatever, which is normal to you. But to us, it's like...
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
It's like two different
mindsets,
but yet... In each of us, in our own mind, it's very normal.
Yeah.
And you know, it's very applicable to like cultures.
Uh-huh.
Like
cultures like
like why is that person doing that?
Yeah.
Like okay, there's cultures that still eat horse.
Yeah.
Like a very fine cuisine, and it's like, you guys eat horse? Like, do you not have any food over there? You guys are nuts.
Cows, man? Have you guys
what?
tasted cow?
like to us, we're like thinking like, dude, like who eats horse? But yet for them, they're like. They look at us and be like,
"Yeah, man, who does?
Why are you guys paying so much for food when there's so many things to eat like horse? Why wouldn't like what's wrong with you guys?
Why are you guys just eating chicken and cow? I mean, these horses are also delicious.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, it's like two completely different perspectives. Yeah,
some hot sauce on this
I know somebody that traveled to Asia.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. They eat a lot of this shit.
And he said they bought a horse. Have a big feast.
Yeah, and like Mexicans have a feast with the big pork, with the big
goat.
Yeah, with the goat. Yeah.
But it was funny, and I asked him, I go, "Did you eat any of the horse?" He goes, "Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of had to. It would have been rude not to." And I was like, "So what was it?" He goes, "It's a cross between a couple of things, but it's like meat, and it's prepared very well."
went to Mexico City, and there's like this big building, and inside there's a lot of puestos inside the building.
What, like a puesto, like stands or?
Stands.
Okay.
One stand sells lion meat. Another stand sells a bunch of insects. Another stand sells like all these exotic animals. Like it's famous in Mexico City that people go there to try like
interesting
scorpions, you know, and lion meat and lamb meat. And
I was listening to an archaeologist, like on a Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
That was in the Amazon. And he says, you know, he's there with the natives and they're excited because they got like some monkeys and they're going to eat it. And he says, it's weird because you look at a monkey and they're getting ready to clean it and cook it. And you're looking at an animal with an arm.
Yeah, man,
with
like us.
Fingers. Yeah. Like, and he said it was weird. He tried it because he's like, yeah, well, you know, they made it. Wanted to try it. You know, it's different. But at the same time, it's like, this thing is so closely related to us because it was kind of weird.
Would you try a lion?
I would try a lion.
They say it's not even that good, but
I've had alligator, crocodile.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. I mean, I didn't have any. I had one that was prepared like in meatballs. It was so good.
Wow.
It was so stupid good.
Well, a horse is really close related to like what is like in Joe Rogan. He's always like hunting down elk or mooses, and he's eating the meat because it has like a lot of protein and a lot of energy in the meat.
Yeah.
So I would say like same thing with the horses, right? Like the horse meat probably has a lot of protein. And
I would imagine like lean meat.
Some energy to it because they're big animals. So they're related to like the elk.
Well, think about like bear
meat. Yeah.
I would love to try bear once.
I think they have bear meat in that.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Cause I was coming back from Mexico once, and it's funny you say that because we were waiting in the line to come across the bridge, to drive through the bridge, and there's ladies walking by selling stuff, and I bought a bottle of tequila that has like a huge scorpion in it. And my friend's like, "You gonna drink it?" I was like, "Maybe not. I don't know. I don't feel the need to, but if we ever get crazy, we will." But when they're there, they had like these little fish that they smoke. And then she had like another little, I don't remember if it was like a bag or a bucket of like crickets. Yeah. And I don't know, they're like smoked or fried or whatever. And
they're good,
my friend was like, she goes, yeah, you should try them, you know, you try everything. And I was like, all right, like, it didn't taste bad.
I like them, man. And
they're seasoned well.
Downtown Juarez, they sell them in bags for 5 pesos.
Yeah. Dirt cheap. Like 5 pesos, like a quarter, I think. Like 10, $20 is like 20 $20 is like $5, or no, $20. 20 pesos is $1.
Yes, 200 pesos is $10.
Okay, yeah. So 20. So that means 20 is 1. So 10 pesos is 50 cents. So like 5 pesos is like a quarter. Yeah. And get a big bag of them, and they're seasoned really well. Yeah, it's really good.
They're fried or whatever. And
they're
crunchy, and they're protein.
I am protein. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I mean,
it's
but we live in a country.
It's weird here in Mexico. No, it's normal here, but up here we don't eat crickets.
It's like,
you know,
and you look at the map and it's just 2 different colors. Those countries, they're connected. They're both connected.
They're connected, man.
But yet, where we're at on this map, we're like, you eat insects, and then where they're at on the map, they're like, well, if you're hungry, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, they're good.
They're there,
and they're
in abundance.
Nutritional.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's kind of weird to think. You know what I mean? Like, anyway,
I'm definitely open to try all that stuff.
I'm open to try it all too. It's just like when I eat weird seafood stuff, squid stuff, and all that.
Where did your friend travel to where they were eating monkeys? Was it down here?
No. There was like I was actually listening to that
it was
like a Joe Rogan, it was an archaeologist in the Amazon. However, my friend, the one that ate horse, was up in like Kazakhstan or something like that. And he said it was like a normal thing, and they made a big deal. It was a big event, plenty of food for everybody, and it was prepared really well. He said, "Why not try it while you're there?" And he wore some of the traditional clothes, and I was all making fun of him. He was like, "What's traditional? They gave it to me. What am I going to do?" I was like, "No, I get it. Right on. Good for you. You're a better man than me, Gungadin."
The world, man. I love it.
Oh my God. Well, man.
And everybody in it.
It was good.
Sure, all right, man.
Here's the plan. We're gonna come up with a topic, like in a week and a half or so. Let's bounce around some ideas, and we'll come up with a topic, and you kind of look up some stuff. I'll look up some stuff on it, but let's figure out
some things.
Yeah, let's figure out what our topic's gonna be, and just when it comes to you, be like, hey, let's talk about this.
For sure.
All right. Cool, man. You have a good night.
Good night.
Cool. Thanks, everyone. Bye. That's cool, man.